Well, I guess this Dallas Cowboy fan just successfully jinxed the Philadelphia Eagles by picking the Eagles yesterday and on Arena Gridiron to take care of business against the 49ers. I thought it'd be a close game, but I just thought Philly was significantly better, deeper, healthier. And then I picked the Eagles to win it all and go back-to-back because I seriously thought I wasn't playing. I seriously thought the Eagles had the best defense remaining in this tournament and the best big game, big play quarterback remaining in this tournament. So I said, voila, Eagles win it all, second straight, back-to-back. And I just watched the Eagles shame themselves and the city of brotherly shove with a disgraceful effort against the 49ers, a team they should have beaten by 3 touchdowns. It was lifeless. It was gutless. It was heartless. It was just less, everything. And clearly, if nothing else, I helped fuel the Eagles' overconfidence because they just thought they could sleepwalk through this game against the 49ers, who obviously during the year lost Bosa and Warner and blah, on and on and on. Bethune had been flashing for me, just leaping off the TV, out, gone. Kittle lost today in the first half. Poor guy, torn Achilles. And on the very next play after Kittle was out, Brock Purdy dropped back and hit another big pass to Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson? Where did he come from? He came right out of Kyle Shanahan's bag. So I just watched on the field after the game with Aaron Andrews, or maybe, I can't remember who interviewed him, but it was Christian McCaffrey who said, "Our team fights." Do they? C-Mac fights. Brock Purdy fights. Kyle Shanahan fights better than any coach standing right now in the National Football League. Fights. This team is at its best when it looks to be at its worst and most decimated. They're playing third stringers and fourth stringers and practice squatters and off the couchers like Eric Kendricks, a cast-off of even my sorry-ass Dallas Cowboys. Eric Kendricks was brought into Dallas to be Mike Zimmer's quarterback of his defense because he knew how to play. He couldn't play. He just couldn't run, couldn't move. Washed. Couch. Gone. 49ers literally pulled him off his couch and said, we got nothing. We got nothing. Today, Eric Kendricks had 10 tackles and looked like Fred Warner to me. That's the culture that Mike Shanahan, with some help from Robert Saleh, has created, and John Lynch, of course. That they should have been stampeded off the field today. This should have been a mismatch. If you ranked player for player, player versus player, it was an embarrassment what just happened to the Philadelphia Eagles, especially the defense. The offense has struggled all year. And speaking of fighting, the Eagles only fight internally. They either didn't take the 49ers seriously or they just wanted this to be over because they're a troubled football team. And I talked about it week after week after week on Arena Gridiron. Something's wrong. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown have clashed for several years. They had an off-the-field incident and personal clash that for a while I thought they had resolved, but it's one that I don't know if you ever quite get over it. I think they just don't like each other. I don't think they hate each other. I just think they don't like each other. and I don't think they enjoy playing together. AJ has pouted, complained, all but mutinied all year long, all but rebelled. It's always over targets and catches and targets and catches and targets and catches. I don't, these divas, I tweeted about this. I've been dealing with them for 50 years. I went through all the Terrell Owens days, San Francisco, Dallas. I know these divas, and they can pout and complain and mutiny all they want, as long as when it's time, they show up and catch the balls that do hit them in the hands. That's all I care about. And today, it was just part and parcel of the whole season that on the late 3rd and 5 at the 40, Jalen threw the first pass of the second half to A.J. Brown, hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it. Of course, late in the first half, he and Nick Sirianni had clashed on the sideline because Jalen had thrown him 2 deep balls that weren't perfect, but they were catchable if you're as good as A.J. Brown says he is and his resume says he is. If you're a Pro Bowl receiver, if you're a potential first-team All-Pro, or you have been a first-team All-Pro receiver, you catch at least one of these deep balls. They're both against the wind. They're going to float and flutter and be a little harder to track. But if you're that dude, if you're that guy, if you're him, you catch one of them and change the game. One of them changes the game and you separate from the 49ers. And he failed to reroute and retrack and catch either football. The second one especially looked very catchable to me for a stud receiver like A.J. Brown is. I don't know. I'm overreacting now probably, but I don't care. It just seems like it's festered. Obviously, they won a Super Bowl with him last year, or maybe in spite of him last year. There was a lot of talk, will he be traded at the trade deadline? Will he be gotten rid of at the trade deadline? It just feels like it's done because they felt done on that play, but God bless this guy. On the next play, on 4th and 5 from the 40, he found his favorite receiver, his security blanket, Dallas Goedert. What a great first name he has. We should have taken him. They snaked him right, Howie Roseman snaked him right out from under us. But he did hit Dallas Goedert on the next play for 15 yards, and they were back alive. And then it came down to 3rd and 11 at the 21. And I thought against the wind that this guy, Jalen Hurts, I thought he threw a really nice ball to Devontae Smith, who's usually a big game, big play catcher. And it hit him in both hands. You just got to catch it. I know the ball's crazy against the wind. It's floating, fluttering, rising, dropping. But it just hit him right in the hands. You got to catch it. It just felt like the Eagles didn't really, really want to win this game. They didn't really, really care. They weren't ready to play, and they didn't take the 49ers seriously enough until it was too late. That's how it felt to me. It was disgusting. It was hard to watch. I hate the stinking Eagles. I have since I was 10 years old. But because I picked them, I rooted for them today because they represent the NFC East. I rooted for them today because they set the bar higher and higher for Jerry Jones. I root for them to just keep pushing my Dallas Cowboys to try to catch up. Man up, measure up. Howie Roseman just keeps getting him better and better. And speaking of the trade deadline, Howie went out and got Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins. I kept looking today. I don't know, was he hurt? He didn't register a stat today. I don't know what happened. And Jalix Hunt, I love Jay. I've been raving about how he stole him in the 3rd round. He came to life in last year's Super Bowl and just dominated. And I thought, my God, he's got another one. He's got an all-star. He's got a Pro Bowler. Did Jalix Hunt play today? I don't know what happened. They couldn't get any heat on Brock Purdy. I was astounded. Brock Purdy just stood back there. He got sacked one time, and they had, I think only one other quarterback hit. I think maybe just one quarterback hit. They just didn't touch him. I don't know. Jalen Carter, where were you, big man? I I don't know. And every time they did look like they had made a play, there was another penalty. San Francisco had one penalty today. That's how you go steal a game on the road against a heavily favored team, at least not in points, but just a lot of people thought this team was positioned to win the NFC. One penalty the 49ers had to 7, and they were all crucial penalties for the home team. Third down. You can't allow Brock Purdy to go 6 of 11 on third down, but he did. You can't allow the 49ers to out-yard you. It was 361 to 307 at home. You can't allow that. Even though the 49ers, they only ran 58 plays to 72 for the Eagles, and yet, this is all you need to know. The Philadelphia Eagles defense that I call the best in football allowed 6.2 yards per play today. That's how you lose, to 4.3 for your offense. I know this offense sputtered all year. You'd see flashes, glimpses, blasts of greatness, or at least of explosiveness. But Brock Purdy, they turned it over twice. Quinion got him twice. So the turnovers were 2 for the visitors to 0 for the home team. So the home team didn't even, you can't say that was an excuse. But again, the opening drive, they just set the tone. They actually won the game on the opening drive. They go 76 yards in 6 plays, and Demarcus Robinson twice victimized the best corner in football, Quinion Mitchell. Twice got him. Quinion looked like he jumped the first route a little bit, tried to undercut it, and Brock just threw it right over his head for a huge gain. And then touchdown pass to Demarcus Robinson, he just smoked him right off the ball. Just put a move on him and beat him. Touchdown. And then the Eagles said, okay, here we go. Here we got this. And they go 63 yards in 10 plays. Saquon looked like he was rolling a little bit. He wound up, Saquon had 26, that's a lot of rushes for 106 yards. Not bad, but no big breakaways, no killer plays. The Eagles didn't have any explosives. They just didn't have any explosives. So they do go down and score 63 yards in 10 plays. And then what happened? Here we go with another kicker, kicking your team right in the balls. Miss the extra point. It's just a psychological devastator. You know, and I know. You go down there and it's going to be 7-6. What? You missed the point? Jake Elliott's been a really good playoff kicker. He missed the extra point, and it haunted him, because if you had it, it would have been 23-20 down the stretch, and Jake Elliott would have got a chance late to send it in overtime, and then maybe you could steal it back in overtime. But no, your kicker missed the point. It's just part and parcel of just how flawed psychologically your football team was. And the play of the game is a trick play, beautifully called by Kyle Shanahan. He had to go into his bag. And, you know, we've seen it in the Super Bowl before, but Juwan Jennings throws a touchdown pass, and this one's Christian McCaffrey. I swear, Christian McCaffrey's a better receiver than he is a ball carrier, running back. And this was a hard throw. It was with the wind, but straight over his head. Man, it's just hard to track it. And he not only tracked it, but dove forward and caught it and fell over across the goal line. It was just huge. It was 29 yards for the big touchdown, the game winner. My God, that's all you need to know. A.J. Brown, it's just a troubled football team. Something was missing. They're so gifted. Howie Roseman did it again. The team he put on the football field today was a Super Bowl winner. That just didn't have the heart to go win the Super Bowl. Is Nick Sirianni going to be in some trouble? Are we down to a Harbaugh? This isn't a quarterback situation, but it is a Harbaugh versus Lamar situation, except this is Sirianni versus A.J. Brown. Well, in this case, in the Harbaugh case, I just preached for 2 months on Arena Gridiron. Lamar's got to go. Harbaugh's got to go for Lamar's sake. You know, Lamar's got to win. And in this case, I think I got to side with Sirianni. A.J. Brown's just got to go. It just never has felt right. I know he's talented, and I'm sure he'll go somewhere else and do great, but this is just wrong. You can't have him clashing with the head coach in full public view. It just tears down your football team. This was just shameful to me. This was hard on my eyes, I got a headache from just watching the Eagles give me a headache watching them. Jalen Hurts does some good things, he does some clutch things, and he does some not so good things. I'm sure a lot of people are screaming for him to be out, to be replaced. He played the 2 best games of his life in the 2 Super Bowls and was the Super Bowl MVP last year. And I thought, all in all, he played pretty well today. Again, 20 of 35 for 168, but his receivers didn't help him out much, did they? Didn't turn it over, didn't lose any fumbles. I thought he played well enough to win. Saquon ran it well enough to win. And then the defense just didn't show up. It just played. It played without urgency, without fire, without desire. I don't know, just the weirdest thing to watch. They didn't take the 49ers seriously until it was too late. And then the final throw of the game is knocked down, game saved, by Eric Kendricks, late of my Dallas Cowboys, dumped, gone, age 33, finished, couched, and came back with 10 tackles and the game-saving pass breakup. Eric Kendricks did it to you guys? Guess I'm going to have to burn this jersey.